Hi everybody, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today my special guest is Roy Selbach, who is from the Netherlands. He's the CEO and co-founder at both DotYeti and EOI Digital, which were created to skyrocket your business's creativity and marketing. Welcome to the show, Roy. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Hey Scott, yeah, of course, always ready to rock and roll whenever you are.
All right, perfect. So let's start off with your background and how you first got into marketing.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very long story, but I will try to keep it short. For me, I always yeah, a lot of people have like very small jobs. So they're like a paper job or doing some dishes or they work at the McDonald's or stuff. So I always was a small entrepreneur myself. I taught myself how to do some graphic design, building some website, even building out some marketing campaigns.
Yep.
Then eventually I started doing an education, communication, multimedia design, and I actually excelled and explored more this skill. I taught more. After that, I started working at large-scale corporations such as Malaysia Airlines and Vistaprint, where I learned a lot about digital marketing. But I always had that urge to do something for myself, right? After a
Okay.
while,
Yeah.
if you start working for one company, then you notice that you reach the knowledge level and you're only doing the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, that's I think many of the dishes has that. So after a while, I decided to start my own agency. It's called EOI Digital, and actually we are now 2 years in business, I guess. Yeah, and that's how I got over here, I guess.
Okay, excellent. All right, so you must be pretty busy because you own two companies. So let's go in a little bit more detail about both DotYeti and EOI Digital and what services you actually provide for each of those companies.
Yeah, so basically, I first started EOI Digital. It was more for my expertise and knowledge. For there on, we tailored a lot of large scale clients such as TikTok, WeTV,
Oh,
Tencent,
yeah.
Kakao Talk, yeah, many other players. So in total, I think we handled around 100 clients within only 2 years.
Oh,
So
gee.
it went, yeah, went pretty fast.
Yeah.
The team is, I think, around to 15 people for EOI right now. So
Yep.
that's fine. But yeah, as many agency owners already experience, it's very, very hard to scale up an agency. You need
Yeah.
to build a lot of structures. You need to create clear SOPs,
Yep.
workflows, these kind of things. And in the end, it always keeps changing and changing because every client has a custom need, and this
Mm.
need needs to be fulfilled, right? So once you set up this structure, you make sure that the work is being delivered either like social media marketing or paid advertisement or websites whatsoever. Then there's always some kind of reason that a client drops out, right? Whether they don't have any budget,
Yeah.
corona hits,
Yeah.
earthquakes, hurricanes, whatever, everything can come on their path. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily that you do a bad job or so. Yeah, and then after a while, it felt like, some clients also are paying too late. I
Yeah.
need to teach the staff so many new things all the time, and in the end, an agency felt more like an extension of my knowledge, like a consultancy agency with an executing power behind. Right? That's for me the start of most agencies. And then I
Okay.
was thinking, how can we utilize this what we have in a better way, right? So
Yep.
especially creativity, we were very, very good in creating yeah, like kick-ass animations,
Okay.
really stunning visuals, social media posts, very result driven, just name it. And then I came across this idea of more like a productized service that's actually making from your service a product, like
Okay.
and that's how DotYeti.com came to earth, emerged.
Yep.
It's like a limited design platform where basically all the clients can shoot in a request and with any kind of design that they want, social media posts, flyers, brochures, banners, just name it. Then we will pick it up. It got automatically assigned to like one of our creative teams. The graphic designer picks it up, designs it. It goes to the QA of the art director, and after that, it got delivered to the client. With Dotjeti, I actually don't don't talk to the clients anymore. I think a lot of agency owners are
Okay.
still talking to clients all the time.
Yeah.
But building this structure and having like a clear service offering, like this is unlimited
Yep.
design. This is our package, right? And this is everything is done by credit card, so no custom invoicing or sending out this and that, and everything is just running smoothly. Yeah, and that company is growing now 30% month on month, right? So it's actually going
Nice.
super fast. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm not sure if you've read the book Built to Sell, but your story sounds almost exactly like what happens in that book, where the guy, it's like instead of just being like a theory book, it's a story, and the guy starts off as an agency, and then he wants to sell his company, but then he gets told that it's not really worth anything. So, and then the advice was to change from a service to a product. So he changes then to selling logos. So I'm not sure if that had any inspiration over your decision. Have you read that book?
I am going to put it now on my short list. I just wrote it down.
Oh, if you haven't read it, you should read it. It's like it's
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
it matches your story almost exactly. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's also the thing, right? I indeed read a lot about how are you gonna evaluate your agency and how can you sell it, how can you make exit, and this is like very, very, very hard. You need to have a
yeah,
lot of revenues, you need to have a certain amount of clients, you need to have build structures. It's very hard to sell, but for example, that's also the point where I came across like DotYeti. So we now have our own custom platform. It works really amazing, and we can add additional services. So also for the upcoming period of time, we also gonna include like digital marketing, web development, these kind of things. So yeah, that's definitely creating a platform. It's
yeah.
something that people can touch, feel, and all these structures that are being made in the air is very hard indeed to sell. So yeah, that's a good tip, man. Thanks.
No problem. So the main focus these days is DotYeti, but you're still doing EOI Digital as well, are you? Is that right?
Yeah, so what I do is I take the learnings from DotYeti and now apply it also directly on EOI Digital. It goes a little bit more slowly indeed, but yeah, like the clients already are already being served, everything is already working out, and that's for me like I had this idea or this vision in 2021 that I would not work for clients anymore, right? I would
Oh, okay.
only focus on building, structuring, and growing and optimizing everything I have, right? So especially all these marketers, all these agency owners, it's my big advice is indeed to focus all the knowledge that you gained in helping other clients in
Yeah.
actually helping your own business,
Yeah, yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah, makes
yeah.
sense. Okay, so how many team members do you have on both of those companies?
Whew, we're hiring every week around 2 or 3 right now.
Oh,
So
geez.
I think right now total we are already reaching 40 or 50, I guess, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, quite large. Fair enough. And who's the ideal customer? Like, is there a niche or a target market that you're aiming for?
Yeah, so for me, especially if you look at clients, at audiences, sometimes you have to say no. That's one thing I really,
Yeah.
really learned. Especially if you just start, you say yes to everything, and then eventually you notice that there's not a good client fit,
Mm,
that you do a lot of work, that the revenue is not there, that it's frustrating that you cannot deliver the results. So for us, we only work with a selected amount of people that we actually also believe in. Mainly, if I have to pick certain industries or target markets, then it will be more or less fintech, real estate, media, publishing, startups. But also we work a lot with other agencies as well. Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, most of the people listening to this podcast are sort of building funnels or they've got funnel agencies. So, as far as marketing your company, is there sort of like a type of funnel that you use that to generate leads and that you'd recommend?
Yes,
Or
of course to do. Like I'm a little bit like a growth hacker myself, right? So I use everything that I can find. I'm like, if the clients talk to me, they always say, huh, how do you know so many tools? And also, how come, right? So
Yeah.
for me, yeah, the first step is actually creating like a flow, right? It's more like a diagrammed flow with top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom, etc.
Yep.
But for me, the most important components in that are definitely like the conversion-driven landing pages. So I've created my own anatomy about what are the most effective pages. I even tested with I think more than 50 different clients, right? Always A/B testing what works.
Yeah. Yep.
I came up with my own structure. Out of the top of my head is like, first, a very bold statement, like say something to draw the attention and say it within a certain amount of time with a direct result, right? Secondly is like the USPs, right? So add some like 3 USPs over there. What are you good at? Then social credibility, like logos, right? Like other logos strengthen your brand. Next up, a little small description about your company. After that, pain points, right? So always mention the pain points people are experiencing. So for example, if you're focusing on, let's say, real estate agents, then they have troubles in finding new clients, or they cannot close it. The conversion rate is too low. They cannot get meetings. Then you come up with a solution. After that, testimonials, right?
Yep.
Social proof, then offer, and then finally the FAQ, or you can say the objections, right? Questions that people still have in their mind. Yeah, and you have a lot of variants, right? Personally, I don't like everyone knows the very long landing pages with a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's people who do that most of the time are selling the product itself, right? That's always funny to see. I notice
Yeah.
is
They're
if
trying too hard to sell it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then they need to prove that they can deliver. If for example, you're a funnel builder, then for yourself, right? Then you will do that, because then you have to prove it that this is your genetics, your code, everything
Ah,
you
yes.
love,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But for me, what I experience for rolling it out to certain clients, then sometimes like half the size or 30% of that size will work even better. But the key is always A/B testing, right? Yeah, that's one component. Yeah, besides that, yeah, I would just go like book a meeting, set up some quizzes, like have a lot of different conversion points, lead magnets. What I find, what a lot of people have problems with is they build everything, but they're missing out on how to get a lot of traffic towards the website. And then they're trying out paid advertisement, and they got stuck in the middle, and then they don't want
Yeah.
to waste any more budget, and they think like, what have I done wrong? My ads are good, my retargeting is perfect, my
Yep.
landing pages are very shiny, and it works. Yeah, but then it's like, maybe the certain type of audience doesn't respond very well to these ads, right? Because
Yep.
you come up, especially if you do a social advertisement, you come on unexpected times for them. And for example, if you're targeting marketers are already being spent with a lot of ads, and they
Yes.
know already what marketing is, so they're a little
Yeah.
bit more clever. So it really depends on your audience, right? So what I noticed as well, like for DotYeti, we're running like a crazy amount of cold outreach. So we have like
Okay.
special tools for that. We mainly use actually like fresh sales. We also tried all the other ones, but fresh sales more like a CRM where everything is integrated. Price quality really good, and we use combination of active campaign more for the marketing automations. Yeah, but for us, like businesses respond sometimes better to businesses, and if there's an email, they can just think about it instead of being disturbed on their private time. So for me, always try everything, right? Set a certain amount, set a goal for yourself. This is what I want to achieve. If you achieved it, then you should scale it up. If you didn't achieve it, then switch to other channel. There's only learnings, no loss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a matter of testing out and fine tuning. Exactly. So you've already talked about a few of the tools you're using, but what are your other favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business?
Yeah, there are many, right? So, and one
Yeah.
aspect on collaboration. Yeah, so what we do, we use, of course, for daily check-ins, check-outs, chatting, we use Slack.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everyone uses that.
Yeah.
For tasks, we use Trello,
Okay.
but we just created our own custom intranet as well. And this is where people can more build a community. And what I really, really believe in, and what for most people costs too much time, but in the end, it's only 5% extra of your time, is documentation. You should always document everything you're doing, right? So, for example, what I notice, especially we have a lot of people working for me, right?
Yeah.
So what we do, I don't want to repeat everything all over again and again, right?
Mm.
So if I need to explain to 40 people the same process every
Mm.
single time, then it's my full-time job to do that, right? So
Yeah.
the thing is, what I learned is that if I do something, I record it, and then I write down the structure that I'm giving and the checklist that I'm doing, and I document it. I put it in one doc. I put it on our intranet, on our documentation, and then the next time when people on board, I just send them the link. I said, watch the video and do this and this and that. I will check afterwards if you've done it, and this works perfectly. It works in this, especially right now. We're working in a digital world. You make things more scalable for yourself as well.
Yes.
You don't have to do the same thing all over again.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Make the most of automation. Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. All right. So, what are some of the biggest and most common mistakes that you see your clients making, sort of both with DotYeti and EOI Digital?
Yeah. So the thing is, you can rather ask what are they doing correctly, right? But basically, they come to you. They say, "Oh, I have this amount of money. Can you make this amount of money for it?" Right? And then everyone thinks we're magicians, we're marketers. We can already help. We can help them do something, but
Mm.
they don't really understand how everything works, right? So one very common mistake that's happening all the time is clients don't follow the onboarding flow, right? So client
Okay.
just come in, they say, I need tomorrow's this and this and that. Arrange it for me now. We don't have their brand profile. We don't
Mm.
have the information. What is their target audience? What is their goal? What do they want, right? So already, yeah, that's an interesting point. So if we were ready start to do work without having a proper briefing about what we need to do and what the client is about,
Yeah.
most of the time, 80% of the time, they're not happy with the work. So I always say stop, just circle back a little bit, slow down, and then we go through the flow.
Yeah.
Another thing is large companies. They have the company hierarchy, right? So there's decision makers who are not active. Then you do something, and there's a person with less knowledge and skill or expertise is reviewing your work. And then in the
Yeah.
end, you need
Yeah.
to go back and then change it, and then
Yeah. That's super frustrating. I can't stand that. Yeah.
yeah, it's super frustrating indeed. You
Mm.
picked the right words.
Yeah.
And know-it-all attitude, right? So they come in and you already know that they already have something clear in mind. While actually, it's not always good what they're thinking, right? So then, instead of they are hiring you as an expert, they're
Yeah.
hiring you as an executing force, right?
I see.
So
Yeah.
so for me, you should hire, like I also do a lot of consultancy jobs. And if they hire me as an expert, then they always listen to me. But if they hire the agency sometimes, and experts are talking and giving advice, they're saying, no, we're doing this way, right? And then it's like, okay, let's see, let's do A/B test. That's what I say always. Let's do an A/B test, and then most time, yeah, we got it right. Yeah, and slow delivery of the assets, right? They
Mm.
want something fast, and then in the end, they don't give the assets or the input that they want, right?
So I guess if they sort of arguing with you about the best way to do it, then you'd pretty much fire them as a client, wouldn't you? You'd just say, no, it doesn't look like we're a good fit. I'm not working with you. Is that sort of,
Yeah, so the
yeah,
thing is, you don't want to say to them something like that. So for me, it's like yeah, it's at this point, right? I always say, okay, then the price is higher, and then most time they will leave, right? And then if they want to do it, then it's worth to buy through the Apple. But um, at this point, I don't even want to do that. But that's something you can do, right?
yeah, of course. Obviously, you've got to approach it the right way. But yeah, I see what you're saying. All right. So what are you curious about or researching right now regarding digital marketing and graphic design?
Yeah, there's so many things. This space, I still remember. If I'm in the field of digital marketing already, I think something like 9 years or so.
Yeah.
If I check how fast the space is actually moving, compared to before, right? Right now, it's more advanced, and I have a feeling like since I'm now more running a business rather than focus on the specific skills
Yeah.
for the job role. For me, I cannot keep up with the latest trends anymore, but I know that yeah, at least for me, for digital marketing, yeah, still the funnel things. I think funnels will never die. Funnels will always be there, especially right now since retargeting is also working better. You can also segment it. You can yeah. For me, the algorithm, yeah, okay. If I think back now, I'm just having like uh, like a flashback. I still remember that I was doing a lot of things manually on the Facebook ad manager, that I set up these campaigns, that I did the tracking, and that I saw the conversions popping in. Right now, what I notice is that the algorithm of Facebook is so good. It's a little bit scary that what we do is we set up the campaigns firstly with let's say conversions. Once we have enough conversions on our pixel that's being measured, then we just set it up sometimes to broad, and then we compare broad to the specific target that we're using, and then we even see that broad is working better because the pixel has enough data to decide what is the best audience to purchase this product, right? So yeah, that's interesting to see how this all goes. Other aspects is always for me marketing automation, but in terms of marketing automation, it's not moving fast. It's always been the same system, but now other companies are doing it better in the UI UX, right? So let's say yeah, yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay. So who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences in your career?
Yeah, I still have to say honestly, Neil Patel, right? He's still the king of SEO, and it's very nice to see how he started, right? So I still remember in the beginning he didn't have anything, but what I also like is even creators, right? So a lot of influencers and people right now are popping up. I also remember that, for example, Ness Daily. That guy, he just started out with videos, and he got like 1,000 people watching it, and right now he has millions of people watching it. So for me, the people is not per se the specific people, but it's more like people who are doing something consistently, right? So if you do the same thing all all the time, and then finding like a way to do it better every single time that you do it, then you will reach your goals eventually. And these people that I just mentioned, they're doing literally that, right? So if you check out Nas Daily, this guy, he started what I said earlier, all about the documentation and all. He documented the way how he does his videos. He made a company out of it, and he's selling that structure to other people who are now duplicating the same structure again. So right now you have a lot of variants of of that video creator. It's really amazing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and with Neil Patel, it's amazing. Like I ask this question to pretty much every interview that I do, and so many people have said Neil Patel. Probably him and Russell Brunson are the two most common answers to that question. So yeah,
Mr. Gary as well, most probably, right?
Yeah, a few of them say Gary V as well. Yeah, but just recently, particularly like the last 5 people in a row, Neil Patel. So yeah, he's obviously making a huge impact.
Yeah, So what I really like is that he's not he doesn't look like a commercial guy. He's
that's
not
true.
like
Yeah, just looks like an
over the
average sort of guy.
place.
Yeah.
It's a guy you can just see on the street, and you just walk past it literally.
Yeah.
But what he did is like consistent delivery of his knowledge, and he built it out and all. And like he also doesn't focus on clients. No, he focuses on content that can help clients, right? And that's
Yeah.
a different mindset that I also discovered recently. And for me, it's now already picking up the fruits from that.
He's
Almost
probably
instantly.
got the best blog in the world, I'd say, at the moment. Like, I can't think of anybody that's got a better blog as far as content and consistency goes. Like, his blog is amazing.
Yeah, just type in how to do digital marketing ... Right? It doesn't matter what kind of topic, his will pop up. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
impressive.
Yeah. All right. So just to wrap up, where can people go to find more about your services and or your products?
Yeah, so I support everyone, especially all the marketing agencies, the funnel builders, the marketers. Yeah, to go to .yeti.com because we are actually our core audiences are agencies because they're in constant need of graphic design.
That's true.
And our
Yep.
packages are super cheap, right? So only $3.99 per month, going up till $2K for animations and web landing page design, this kind of stuff. Yeah, so you can check it out. For my agency as well, you can go to EOI.digital. That's it. Yeah, I actually also have a very nice ebook about scaling your graphic design output.
Okay.
You can also find it on a website, I think. Yeah, .yeti.com, and if you then go to resources, then you can find it over there. I think there's also a nice marketing driven pop-up over there coming, right?
Nice.
Everyone knows how it works, but yeah, maybe you can learn a thing or two from it, right?
Excellent. All right, then. Thanks a lot for being on the show, Roy. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
thanks.